everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome one and all to this week's Ponderous Wednesday. Now, if you're new to my channel or don't know, every Wednesday I try and take a thought-provoking and interesting topic and have a good old ramble about it here on YouTube to stimulate some interesting discussion down in the comment section. Now, I did a topic about Brexit about, gosh, it was over a month ago now, and I'd mentioned Brexit last week in my Venezuelan hyperinflation video about what we can maybe do to prepare ourselves for those kind of no-deal Brexit scenarios. Now, Brexit has been in the headlines massively this last week. It's caused some really big impacts for us in the UK in terms of buying silver. Certainly in the short term, the value of the pound has reduced quite significantly over a short space of time, which has pushed up silver prices for us. And also it has bigger implications leading forward to whether or not we're actually going to get a deal or whether we're going to fall off the cliff. It's looking more and more likely that we are indeed going to fall off the cliff, so to speak, which would be, in my opinion, the end of silver stacking here in the UK on a significant basis. If you want to just buy a couple of coins here and there, it'd still be practical and fine. But if you want to seriously invest in silver, personally, I feel that silver investing will die in a no-deal Brexit scenario, certainly in the short term until trade treaties and agreements are made with other countries, for example. So today I'm going to address all of that jazz. It should be an interesting discussion. It is just me making this video for entertainment purposes. I am not here to give financial advice. This is not as well a political video. I'm not talking about the merits or demerits of leaving the EU or the deal or no deal type situation that we've got, and I'm not really going to comment on whether or not the deal that has been proposed by our Prime Minister Theresa May is a good or bad deal. I'm simply going to comment on the current situation, which is leading a lot of silver stackers here in the UK to question the future of stacking in the UK and maybe looking at preparations for that no deal situation about what they can do to mitigate some of the potential impacts that it's going to have on their plans. And that's kind of the nuts and bolts of the situation. Now, where we are with Brexit right now, for those of you who are maybe not in the UK, not keeping up with UK news, we're leaving the European Union and our government was negotiating a deal and they have spent the last 18 months or so doing that. We finally got a big document together, 585 pages together, which the European Union agreed to in principle, and we thought that was good. That was good news. It would be the first step in the right direction to continuing on. That's what happened on Tuesday. On Wednesday, it appeared that the document maybe wasn't quite to everybody's liking, and we had a number of cabinet resignations and a number of different basically criticisms of Theresa May. Lots of the MPs out there criticising her leadership and her negotiating styles and stances. And basically it's put the whole question of whether or not we are going to be able to have a Brexit deal in question at all. So that has led a lot of people, I know over on the Silver Forum, for example, to be asking what can be done to prepare for Brexit in terms of silver. Now, I did mention in my video last week about the Venezuelan hyperinflation type situation, that preparing for kind of financial collapses and things, is important. I really don't think that there's going to be a financial collapse if we have a no-deal Brexit. So all of you out there watching who are in the UK and are worried about silver and the prices that's going to have and the impact it's going to have on the pound, a no-deal Brexit's, going to affect silver prices, that's for sure. It's going to affect the pound, that's for sure, but it's certainly not going to collapse the economy, and we need to remember that. The world will keep on turning, it will keep going round and round, and the sun will rise, the sun will set, and we'll just get on with it. That is the nature of things. What it will potentially have that impact on, though, is, of course, the avenue by which we can purchase VAT-reduced silver from Europe. So for those of you, again, who are not in the know, in the UK, we pay wonderful sales tax on our silver of 20%. But at the moment, we are part of the European Union, which is, I guess, why I got all of these stars out to represent the European Union to some degree. And that is an avenue by which we can purchase the silver and import it through to the UK without having to pay the UK VAT, which is, of course, a huge saving. And for any kind of serious silver investor, that's the avenue by which I would recommend and I would suggest that you purchase your silver. Now, that's going to potentially close in a no-deal situation. So how and what will the impacts be for us? Of course, if that closes, overnight, there's a couple of different things that might happen. We might see a huge, drastic increase in silver prices because all of a sudden the cheapest piece of silver that somebody can buy in the UK and Europe suddenly turns to 20% more. So theoretically, there's a really, really good potential for kind of, I guess, want for a better phrase, eBay flipping mentality. So people can buy a lot of cheap silver now, have it in stock, ready to go for when Brexit actually happens, and then we can sell and make a nice markup. So theoretically, there's potential upwinds to be had for a lot of people. But, you know, I reckon there's going to be quite a few people who might take that avenue, want to do that. I know I sell some silver coins, you know, on eBay and things, and I do that just because it's a good way of being able to get my business card to people who buy silver. So, you know, if I'm building my seller reputation, getting new customers in, I think that's a good thing. So I know that I'm buying a few bits and bobs of silver specifically to keep on selling like I have been over this last 18 months. And I know a lot of people out there maybe will be looking to do the same. But long term, that is not necessarily going to be sustainable. You know, we of course will have that avenue cut off at a certain point. Once your stocks have gone, once my stocks of silver have been exhausted for selling like that, I'm suddenly stuck in a situation where the cheaper silver that I can buy is 20% more. And that's a huge thing. That really is, in my opinion, it's a deal breaker. And I know from having spoken with a bullion dealer, I did an interview with a bullion dealer last week. I actually filmed it on Wednesday last week when all of the Brexit shenanigans were going down. And when we were filming, we didn't quite know where it was all going because we were obviously filming, not seeing it live. And incidentally, I will be giving you a lot more information about that interview with that bullion dealer in the future. So if you'd like to find out more about that coming up in the future, then do, of course, hit the subscribe button. It's a really, really interesting experience and day out, and some really nice shiny stuff I got to see. Anyway, I digress. The point is that that dealer was cautiously optimistic for their business about a no-deal Brexit because, of course, if that avenue for VAT-free or VAT-reduced silver disappears, then potentially there's going to be a lot more customers coming to these dealers in the UK for silver. So whilst a lot of us in the UK are quite excited about the potential for well, I say excited. I'm excited for the potential of a no-deal Brexit because we could then potentially get lots of trade agreements with different countries. I mean, if we could get a trade agreement with the USA, that would open up a whole new other avenue to purchasing more and more silver and more hand-poured silver and more wondrous stuff and not having huge duties levied on it when it comes into the UK. But at the same time, it basically has my business in jeopardy. You know, we have obviously a lot to consider for backyard bullion. But not just my business side of things, of course, silver, stacking and investing. You know, I am a firm believer that silver is a good buy. It's a good buy right now. It's very cheap right now, and it will be a good hedge in the long term. But I've always viewed silver as a means to an end for buying the yellow shiny stuff. And if we get that no-deal Brexit situation and silver suddenly becomes more expensive, the margins that one would make on it in the future would be less. And therefore, I would fall from silver straight into gold. So gold is, in my opinion, where the future of precious metal investing is going here in the UK. You know, we don't have VAT on gold, so you can buy this gold at 2-3% above spot for basic stuff, or you can obviously, you know, more slightly premium stuff like this Falcon. But it's still cheap. It's certainly, even with a premium, this is cheaper than it would be buying silver in the UK with all of the premiums that go on top of it. So, you know, there's in my opinion, a real opportunity for gold buying to really take off here in the UK. I think that it's going to be the mainstay for the serious stacker out there. It's a shame though, because silver is so nice, silver is so shiny and lovely, and it's got a lot of things going for it as well. Of course, we'll, you know, we understand that the silver-gold ratio is very much in favour of silver right now, and that's definitely something to consider. And I'm not saying that I would never buy any silver again in a post-Brexit no-deal situation, but it would certainly impact on my thinking quite a lot. And that is obviously having the same effect for a lot of people right now, because I see more and more people looking to buy larger quantities of silver from European dealers now, before the avenues have been closed off for Brexit, basically. And, you know, the group orders that we've been arranging 45,000 euros in total worth of silver. Something like 2,500 ounces worth of silver has been ordered by Silver Forum members, and there will be more unboxings like the one that we had coming out over the weekend, coming up over the next couple of weeks. It's just, it's pretty intense really, and there will be another, certainly one, possibly two group orders in the new year, and it will be telling to see what the attitude of the community is for those, because I think it's going to be pretty huge. That's going to be the run-up to the end of the kind of free trade agreements potentially, and it's going to have big impacts for silver buying. So we shall probably see huge quantities of silver bought through Silver Forum members and group orders, and it'll be a very interesting time. But of course, that is all conjecture. Hopefully, I say hopefully, in terms of silver, again, this is not a video about the merits of Brexit or the merits of the deal that Theresa May has presented to us. I'm just stating this in terms of how it relates to silver. So please do not, I don't want the comment section to suddenly turn into a Brexit, pro-Brexit and anti-Brexit discussion. I want it very much related onto silver. So if you're going to comment about the politics of Brexit, probably best if you don't, because it's just a bit too contentious and there's no real point. Otherwise, guys, if you like this video, if you want to see more videos like this in the future, then make sure you hit the thumbs up button. It really helps share the video through the YouTube algorithm, and if you can share it on any social media you have, that would be very helpful. And if you want to see future videos like this, then please make sure you hit the subscribe button, and if you want to get notifications, hit the alarm bell. Otherwise, that is all I have to say. A massive thank you to you all for watching, and please make sure, as always, to like, share, comment and subscribe for more.